What's up, guys? Hone Houdini Ty here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the difference between flip and hold. So everybody I talk to, they often say, well, let me backtrack. A lot of people that I talk to who are interested in starting in real estate say, Hone, I want to get in and I want to do a bunch of flips. Fantastic. Do a lot of flips. Do all the flips you want, but know the difference. And then I asked them, like, what do you want to do rentals? They're like, absolutely not. I don't want to deal with the two T's, tenants and toilets, and that often is what comes up. So I understand, but let me run through some numbers that you understand what you could be passing up on because you're not thinking about the whole entire picture. So let's go through a flip. All right, flip. You buy $40,000, you rehab it for $60,000, and you have $30,000 in soft costs. What are soft costs? Things like closing costs, transfer taxes, utilities, interest on the money, permits, blah, 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 blah. I just lumped them in because I didn't want to write them all out. 30,000 soft costs. Gotcha? Got me? Good. 130,000 total. Okay, great. You aim to sell the property for 200, or you do sell the property for 200,000. You listed it for 230, or you want it 230 after you pay commissions, after you pay transfer tax again, after you pay closing costs, after you pay seller concession, after you negotiate the price, after all of that, from 230, you got 200 left. So let's say that's what you ended up with. Your profit, $70,000. Typically a rehab, let's say you're pretty good at it or your crew's pretty good. Let's say it took 3 to 4 months, and let's say you did this in a really hot area and you were able to get your sale price within a couple days, couple weeks, and then they closed. This whole transaction took less than 6 months, 8 months, and because you don't have $130,000 in your pocket, you borrowed it from a hard money lender and you wanted to do the deal before the time frame was up. So you did this whole deal in less than a year. You profited $70,000, but let's not forget Uncle Sam. So after you pay your taxes, you end up with $49,000. Not bad. If you did this in less than a year, not bad, because a lot of people work the whole entire year in hopes to get that. But in this situation, you didn't actually do the rehab yourself. You hired a crew, and that might have took a couple hours. Let's say it took you 40 hours to find the crew, tell them what to do, manage them, pay them, blah, 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 blah. You worked 40 hours. That's just one work week. And then maybe it took you 40 hours to find the deal. That's 80 hours. That's just 2 weeks. And you made almost $50,000 after taxes. Not bad. Good job. Now let's go into a hold situation. Same property. You buy it, you rehab it, soft costs, you're all in for 130. Remember, the property value is 230. 230. So what I like doing is I'll go to a bank and refinance it. And most banks, 70% loan to value. Let's go to conservative. So 70% of 230, 161. That means the bank will lend you $161,000 because your property is worth 230. And because we're not selling it, we don't have a buyer nitpicking things, we don't have to pay an agent, we don't have to do any of that stuff. It's the full 230, not 200 in our other situation there. It's the full 230. So 70% of 230, 161. We're all in for 130. So when we do the refi, we cash out 31,000. And then here's the cool part. That $31,000 is tax free. Tax free. Why? Because it's a loan. It is not capital gains. We didn't sell the property. We just refinanced more than we put in. So $31,000 cash out. Tax free. So you're like, okay, now we're comparing $49,000 to $31,000. You're like, well, I still like the $49,000. Well, here's where you can make it up. In a year, let's say you were collecting $1,000 a month, or more than that, and you ended up with $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year in annual income. So at the end of the year, you'll have $1,000 or $12,000. But then there are things that people forget about, like depreciation. Based on a $230,000 house, 80% of that in your cost basis, divided by 27 and a half, you get to write off $6,700 that you didn't actually put out. You get to write that off in depreciation, $6,700, which is affected like $2,000 in actual savings in money. So you can count $2,000. And then you have 3540 in amortization, meaning in this schedule, after a year of paying your mortgage of the $161,000, you've paid down $3,540 in equity, in principal, I should say. So essentially, you've gained that much money in principal because you paid it every month. And then the last bit is appreciation. The building might go up in value, and as it goes up, you may recapture that, or you may just leave it in there. But that's to be said. I don't like to calculate it because that's a guess, and I don't like buying on appreciation because that's like I have a crystal ball and I can see into the future. I don't count it, but it's good to know that it's there. So when you add all these things up, you're at 48.5, which I still have the building. This one, you have to go out and buy a new building to do again. This one still yields throughout $12,000 year after year after year. You still depreciate $6,700 year after year after year, and you still pay down your mortgage year after year after year. And what's interesting is this number constantly goes up. You pay down more mortgage as time goes on. So I'm still making all of that every single year. So though you may not want to deal with tenants and toilets, over here you have to deal with finding new properties. Each situation is slightly difficult or it requires work, but you have to choose your work. You know what else requires work? Going to work. Everybody has to choose their battle. So you choose which one you think is most suited for your personality. Now, if you're interested in doing any of this, if you're interested in refining, I can help you with the refinance process. If you're interested in learning more about the depreciation schedules, amortization, how to calculate any of that stuff, I can help you with that too. So again, look at this, check this out. This is the difference. Beginners love to say that they want to flip because all the TV shows are based on it. But if you really understand the numbers, and I always recommend you do your numbers. If you look at it from this point of view, you can see there's a benefit to this side too. And maybe instead of collecting $12,000, maybe you collect $11,000, you pay a property manager. Then you don't have to deal with tenants and toilets. All right, hopefully you like this video. I'm here for you, and I'll catch you at the next one.